The episode is another ball one. It's going to be crazy. A lot of interesting things to discuss. And volume wise, we are all set. Let's check. Checking. And we are live across all the platforms. Okay. Have you ever felt this scenario where you are at home with the people that you love the most, your spouse, your children, and they are the reasons of your biggest headache? Have you also observed maybe your loved ones, your spouse, your children, blurting it out to you, or you blurting out to them that, oh my God, my life would have been so easier had you all not been there? Or maybe at some point of time thought, oh, my life before was better when I was a bachelor. There was no worries and everything. Now, if any of these answers, the answer to any of these questions is a yes, then, well, this episode is going to be a big, big eye opener for sure. Welcome to episode number 85. This is Dr. Surya. And of course, the objective right now, we are at the 31st day of 2026. The intention that I'm setting from this moment on is so that I can continue things all the way throughout in terms of doing 2 lives per day and also ensuring that I'm maintaining that consistency. I think finally I've got all my systems sorted and it's all about going all guns blazing. So just before I do so, I had promised my folks that I will be putting this entire stuff out as a proper link. So let me just put that out right now and ensure that everyone who is there, whoever wants to watch this live, can do so. So I'll just put that uh, as my WhatsApp story for a moment. Just 1 second. Yes. So here we go. Uh, yeah, right now. Check it out. And here it is. That's it. Done. Okay. Okay. All right. So today's episode, we are going to be diving deep into step by step of how to ensure that you're able to use communication skills at home and how that can be the greatest thing that you can implement in order to have a better relationship with your loved ones, with your own family. To begin with, I took a very, very big decision in the end of 2021. For 5 years, almost all the way from 2015 to 2019, 2020, I was away from home. I was in a college, staying in the hostel, learning dentistry, getting my degree. Now, those 5 years were the most transformative years of my life. The years when, before that, as in leading up to 2015, I was at home. Dad was the main bread earner. Mummy was taking care of all the chores. We had maids and everyone. But the thing is, you start feeling privileged. You start feeling entitled. Now, for you watching me, I'm sure your children feel the same exact thing because you, as a parent, you care for your children. You don't want them to go through all of those troubles. But right now, this year, I'm going to become 30 and I have to take care of my own clothes. Even though there's a machine where I put in the clothes, the machine washes it. I have to take those clothes out and dry. I have to fold them and put it back. I have to send them for ironing and receive them as well. All those problems are there. At home, whenever the maid comes in to clean, it's all fine. Otherwise, I have to clean at least my workstation, if not anything else. But that only we learn when we get into the zone of doing it for ourselves. Now, multiple reasons for which I decided, well, I cannot stay in this zone at the comfort of my own home with my parents. If I really want to take my life to the next level, I have to leave. And that's what I decided to do on 3rd November 2021. Since then, it's been such a humbling experience because you're managing so many things all by yourself. When you're sick, you got to get your own medicines. You got to maybe at times cook your own food. You got to manage your expenses properly. You've got to ensure that every single aspect of life is taken care of. And parents are not going to be there for throughout our life, isn't it? But it also surprises me so much whenever I will go home. there is some problem or the other that creeps in. Baba is angry, mummy is pissed, my brother is having conflicts with them, I am having conflicts with them, and begin to think, oh my God, like life is so simple when I'm away from home. How come whenever I go home, all the problems just comes to appear? I mean, it's such a weird scenario. It feels like there is a problem for every solution. Now, to think of it right now in retrospection, I come to realize that it's not a problem of people, it's the problem of communication. Communication is what either brings people together or separates people, isn't it? And I've known it for quite a while because I've been in my relationships, all the the romantic relationships that I've been involved in, the family members with whom I've been involved in, the family members I decided I do not want to stay in touch with. In fact, I go to such an extent where I don't even have the contact details of my cousins, my relatives. Zero. To such an extent where I don't even have their numbers saved in my phone because I don't feel that it's relevant. Rather, the people I look up to, my dear friends, the kind of people I would love to have them in my life are the ones that I have them saved. But then it's something that you cannot avoid when you go home. I know that any special occasion comes in, those relatives will come in whom I don't even want to talk to. But it's not that obviously I can stay away from them. Can I stay away from my parents? Can I stay away from my brother? That's not how it works, right? So what I decided to do, especially in the last couple of months, exactly 1 year to be precise, is when I started to open up. I started to be very, very straightforward to them. But that didn't happen as an accident. It was a very, very strategic way to take that forward. And that is exactly what we are going to discuss in today's session. Now, you've got to understand that everything starts with the activities that people go through as a family. And what is the only one activity that people go through as a family? It's chores. Now, I don't care how rich you are, how poor you are, how intellectual you are, how smart you are. It doesn't even matter whether you got the president's medal as well. You need to come home and you need to help in the chores. So, the way that I like to see it is, let's just say there are certain earning members in the family. In order to make sure that it becomes frictionless, you've got to build systems, and those systems happen when you sit down and have a conversation about it. So, the kind of conversation that I have with my parents is, you are telling me about these groups of people. Why are you telling me about them? How do you think whether this uncle got his daughter or son married to this person and they spent 5 CR or 10 CR in their entire wedding? How is that conversation, how is sharing that with me relevant to our relationship? So, the fact that I always lead with questions, and the tonality is the tonality of curiosity, it triggers the clarity in them, the awareness in them, the reflection in them. When my brother at times has this habit of, I mean, he doesn't do it intentionally, I know for sure, but there are certain things he tells me which hurts me. But then when I tell him that very clearly, that, this is how you spoke, how do you think the person, or in this case, me, I must have felt if you spoke that innumerable number of times? So the fact that I open up the clarity, that's when they get into the whole zone of understanding. But when it comes to chores, that's when things become difficult. Usually, there is one person in the house who is the primary person who takes care of the chores. So, for an instance, let's just say two people are together. One person takes care of all the internal thing, in-house stuff, the cooking, the cleaning, the washing, the brooming, all of those things, either themselves or through a maid or the staff that's there. They are the ones who are communicating directly with them and every single thing. The other person takes care of all the external thing, the external groceries, whether the milk supplies are there or not, the bread, eggs, all of those supplies are there or not, the car is maintained, the scooter is arranged, the different appliances are properly fixed or not. Now, usually growing up, what I have observed is the internal things is what the women of the house takes care, the external things the men of the house take care. Now, it's an equal responsibility. And yet, what I grew up watching was the woman expects the man expects the woman to take care of everything without even saying anything. It's just he just expects things to be taken care of. To such an extent, when I go to meet my uncles' houses and all that, I just know that on weekends they are expecting that they're going to lie on their easy chair and they'll have someone come to them with a cup of tea or the fresh breakfast, or breakfast will be served on the table. They'll just walk up to the table and eat. They don't understand what goes behind into doing all of those things put together. Now, it might be a Sunday for you, but it necessarily need not be a Sunday for your partner, isn't it? They are doing it already the rest of the days as well. That compassion is not there. The compassion is not there because the awareness is not there. Only now, why am I able to put it across? Because I have taken care of my own food for the last 5 years without anyone's help whatsoever. Now, irrespective of whether I cook my own food or the maid cooks or I go out to eat, doesn't really matter. I have to manage my own food. Now, you look at the other side of the picture. The woman of the house keeps telling the bulb is not right. The tube light is not functioning properly. The the, the tap is leaking in the house. Uh, there is some kind of a damp on the wall, and it's just miraculously she expects that he is going to find time out of his busy schedule or get it fixed by himself or call someone to get it fixed. Well, it's difficult because men are primarily focused on their job more than the internal stuff. Now that tends to create conflicts where maybe the right groceries are not there and the woman is angry. Maybe the food is not well cooked and the man is angry. And here is the thing, when a problem comes in, expectations versus reality, expectations and reality is not met, the first emotion that comes in is anger, blame, and shame. Now, I've seen countless times in my own extended families, and that's why I've kind of distanced myself from my extended family. There's so much of blame, and it's like a cultural stereotype that's considered as the norm, where the men in the house can just order around, the women in the house have to stay submissive, and that's what it is. Now, I personally do not believe in it. I personally believe that every single one of us are born for a certain purpose, and whether anyone tells that to us or not, it's our responsibility to find our purpose. So what when I look at my dad, he was born to play cricket and talk about cricket. He he is born to manage groups of people. I feel he does a pretty good job at it. When I look at my mom, she's also a people's person, but at the same time she is more related to how can I build relationships and communities. Now, that's something that she's amazing at. Of course, she's the best singer that I've ever known. So that's what should derive most of their life. For me, I'm slowly getting to understand that I love building systems and tools. I love simplifying things. I love teaching. I love training. I love helping people. I love facilitating people to do certain things. Now, these things, until and unless we sit down with our family members and talk about it, it is never going to get solved on its own. Now, so far, I'm going to be 30 years old. Well, my family considers that I'm that thread that holds the entire family together, because whenever it is that I meet any extended family also, I'm the one who's asking questions. How are you? How are things going on? How is everything? I'm still the exact same person I was when I was 6 years old. There's nothing changed. Maybe the size has changed, the beard has grown, the voice has changed, but the person as such is exactly the same. So how do I do it? Now we'll come to the next part. Now that we've understood the what, now we'll come to the how. It's so important that nothing moves until and unless you set the context. And the way you set context is not by telling them, but asking for permission first. So I'll give you a couple of scenarios. At some point of time, I know I'll have to have this conversation with my parents, and this is how I approach things to be. It's more related to Mummy, Baba, there's something I want to share with you. Is that okay? They're like, yeah, please bring it on. Okay. For this, I want your undivided attention. I want your complete support. I want you to listen to me. I want you to understand me. I don't want you to judge me, blame me, tell me that whether it is right or wrong and all. I want to share something out as a friend. So, for a few minutes, is it okay if you all can become my friends? Now, it's not possible for my parents, I know it, because it hasn't been. But just because I set the context, later when they decide to switch immediately at a snap from friend to a dad or a mom, I can immediately tell them, well, I just asked for permission. Now, if you feel like we cannot continue this conversation, it's absolutely fine, which I have done in a lot of situations. They're like, okay, so Mummy, Baba, this is the life that I'm having right now. This is the person who has made me turn this life into reality. This is the person I would like to be with for the rest of my life. I need your inputs right now. How do we go about it? I'm going to talk about Yogeshwari. So now they will obviously get a kind of a shock, but because I have set the context nicely, it becomes easy for me to communicate that with them and for them also to understand, and we come to a common solution put together. Same thing comes with household chores. So whenever I go home, I keep telling Mummy, don't cook so much. We'll manage the food outside. My brother and I, we are so obsessed. Maybe the next time when we go home, we'll be making this an even bigger rule where we have more and more house staff who's there to take care of our parents. The fact that they're growing old, it's our responsibility to find those people and ensure that everything is taken care of in a very, very nice manner. So I know that I'll have to have this discussion with my brother. My mom needs someone to take care of the entire house. My dad needs someone to come and clean everything and ensure that everything is taken care of. I need someone with whom I can stay in touch with, who's going to be something like a house manager, so that Mummy Baba need not talk with all the house stuff. They're just going to talk to that one point of contact. That one point of contact takes care of everything. I know that I need to dive deep into hiring properly and ensure that the people are taken getting paid properly so that all the household stuff are taken care. But even after that does not happen, just in case if it doesn't happen, as family members, are we able to sit down and demarcate what are the roles that we have? A person to take care of the groceries, a person to ensure that the cooking support and everything is done. I try to help my mom as much as possible in the kitchen whenever I go home, as much as possible, whether it's getting stuff or however it is. Someone needs to be there, and that can only be communicated clearly. Now, a couple of code of honors that is there is the, for example, I don't like when people raise a voice against me. I don't care how severe the situation is. The moment you raise your voice, it doesn't happen. So I'm very, very clear with my parents about it. The moment you raise your voice, I'm out of the conversation. I'm literally out. So I go out, I wear my shoes and stuff, and I just walk out just because I don't like when anyone, for that matter, raises the voice to such an extent where I think last year, in the month of November, December, I went to meet my uncle. There I saw uncle and aunt arguing about something and screaming at each other. My hands started shaking, my hands went cold. I didn't even know what to do at that point of time. Now I've decided that I'm not going to be going there. Not never, but not until the foreseeable future. Or even if I go there, it's just going to be for a day or two. That's it. Because I cannot tolerate anyone shouting and screaming, no matter how severe the situation is. The worst part that happens is it's all assumed that people are going to understand. It's assumed that just because children, they are my children, they're going to understand me. Just because I'm their dad, I need to understand. I already understand them enough, but it's not the case. Do I feel good staying away from my own family, my own parents? No. But then I know that I have certain expectations of them. Yeah, I'm the first person who's guilty. I'm expecting that they will understand that I have taken a break from dentistry to do something that I enjoy. When I know for sure that the relatives or the people in the society around where I used to stay, they keep asking, "Oh, what's your son doing?" So it's an insult for them. Now, I'm able to understand that now, but I expect them to understand. So these assumptions is what naturally kills any relationship for that matter. And until unless we step up and until unless we show them what's possible, it doesn't make any sense. So I know for sure that the day I have 10 lakhs in my bank account and I'm able to show to my parents that 10 lakhs every month having in the bank account is possible, I know that they'll not trust me. Why should they? I mean, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? If they see that you're making you're achieving success, you're getting income coming in consistently, and they don't have to worry about it, you're able to show that as a proof to them, that's it. They'll have nothing to worry, and slowly that's when they'll start to understand what's going on. All the more why I'm doing all these lives, because I want this to be a documented proof that just because I'm showing up online every single day, which means I'm doing something right with my life and it's giving me some kind of results, specifically financial results. I'm earning the money because I'm helping people transform through the Speak to Lead cohort, and I'm working with those mid-level managers. My mom and dad has never been a mid-level manager, so they wouldn't even know. And that's where another drawback, which is awareness is not there, clarity is not there, reflection is not there. It's never there because we are always there in automated mode. I also keep asking my parents all these things that, we behave so nicely with the people whom, wherever we go. You tell us to behave nicely with the people wherever we go. When people come to us, you tell us to behave. Why don't we follow that rule at home when it's just the four of us? Now, Mummy Baba keeps coming up with weird metaphors. When two utensils are there, they are bound to crankle and they are bound to make sound. Very weird metaphors. Doesn't make any sense. And would you behave politely with the people whom you meet once in a year? Or would you behave properly and politely with the people who are literally your, the dearest people in your life? Now, what I know is distant perspectives, beliefs, thought process, metaphors, all these things is what distances two people. But at the same time, especially with your own loved ones, they are the ones who's going to be there when you are at the most difficult time. Now, have I felt that? I felt that with my friends, not with my family necessarily. It's not something that I'm proud of, but it's the way that it is. My friends have been there for me when my own family was not there. It's not that they were not there. There was no way that they could help as well. Now, initially I had guilt, I had that blame, but over the last couple of months, I've kind of figured it out that there was nothing that they could have done as well. And that's okay for me. So now, finally, the fact that we are in this live, what is it that you would like to do? What are the exact frameworks that you can implement so that everything is sorted? Well, the very first thing is to make it a game, the way that I love doing it. Uh, Whenever I meet Yogeshwari's parents, I necessarily not speak their entire language completely, but we always sit down and we play some kind of board games, Uno and all. Because the more you play board games, you've got some common ground where everyone can have fun. And the more you have fun, the more you have smiles and joy and everything, the more connected you become. So that's the very first thing. You have to make everything as a game. Number two, the same game comes around with rules. So you can do a weekly reflection session where everyone talks about what is the one thing that they have learned, a secret that they would like to share, or complete non-judgmental space and everything. Doing these family activities together without any phone, without any distraction, just the entire family together. When it comes to chores, everyone deciding and demarcating their role, something that I always tell my parents. If mummy wants to tell something to Baba, and the fact that they're growing old, have a list of paper, have a pen, write things down. These are the things that I want, name of the stuff, quantity, and that's it. Baba can go and get it. Or even better, order it online so that you don't have to worry about it. When it comes to house help, if you want the entire house to be cleaned, make sure that you write down exactly what is it that you like to be cleaned, so that my brother and I can arrange for urban clap people. Professionals will come, they will do the entire cleaning, and they'll take care of everything. You don't have to worry about anything at all. And last and finally, ensure that you are creating that communication frameworks of setting the context, talking about the problem, coming up with a solution, and sharing whatever emotions that you are going through. Instead of expressing it out, screaming at each other, talking out your emotions works much better. Something that I always do with my brother at times when, I mean, obviously he's a CA now, and I always have enormous amount of love and respect for my brother. We are doing a podcast, the SM show. It's going all crazy. We're having such a good time doing it. Forget about the views. We are having such a good time while doing it. So, but then again, there are times when I tell something that hurts him or he tells something that hurts me. We have established that thing where we can be open with each other and express what's going on. And that's what builds relationships. So, in fact, it's a weird, very, very weird thing to say. Okay, my brother and I, we always used to, while growing up, even now, we believe the same, that we wouldn't necessarily want to get married, because why do people get married? So that they can have a life partner with whom they can share the entire life. But here, my brother and I, our age gap is just less than 2 years, so we pretty much can always be there for each other, to support each other with everything. So we need not necessarily need any external person to come in and all that. So all those things are also something that we very, very openly discuss. And a lot of other things as well. Just because we've set that particular context for each other and we're always there, we know it. So these are the stuff that I wanted to share for this particular live. We are going to start another one in another couple of minutes. So get excited for that. It's going to be super, super fun. And finally, the only thing that I would like to ask you to do is, whatever it is that you share, it is that you've heard from me in today's live, you don't have to implement everything. Just implement the one thing. If even better, mention that to me. What is it that you're going to implement starting from today? Make sure that you watch this live with your family members if you want to. That would definitely help big time. And if you're new here, please do hit that follow button, the subscribe button, hit that like button, share this with as many people, because I'm enjoying doing this live all by myself. But the fact that I'm doing it over Zoom, it'll be much more powerful if I can have people also in the live and we can discuss, we can talk about it as well. It's going to be crazy. So I'll see you in the next live in